Welcome back to Whole Remnant. I'm Rebecca. Today we will be continuing our series of connecting yoga poses with scripture. Today we'll be talking about Firelog pose. Now, Firelog pose typically comes in yin yoga classes, but you can find variations of it in other types of yoga as well. So to get into Firelog pose, you put one foot, right now this is my right foot, on top of my left knee. And then the idea is that your other knee would come and hit your other foot. But as you can see, that doesn't happen with my body right now, so that's fine. I'm going to flex my foot so that it's protecting my knee. I could also, if I were in yin, I'd be holding this pose for several minutes so I could slide a block underneath that knee. And then for the other one, other side, same thing. Now, the reason it's called Firelog, if you look, it looks like two logs stacked on top of each other for a fire. So what does this have to do with scripture? Well, there are several places in scripture, lots of them actually, that talk about fire. One of them says our God is a consuming fire. It also scripture talks about God consuming the impurities, like a refiner who is making items out of silver or gold, purifying that silver or gold with fire to bring out the impurities and skim them off the top. If you know anything about working with metals, when you melt metals like silver or gold, the impurities float to the top, you can skim them off, and then you have the pure metal to work with. So I think about God purifying our hearts by skimming off all of that impurity, melting us down, taking away our ego, melting down our hearts to the purest forms, and then taking away all those impurities. As David said, cleanse me with hyssop and I shall be clean. We also can talk about, in scripture we hear that there are lots of places that talk about zeal for your house consuming me, so thinking about that passion, that fiery passion with God. Now, there's also a place in scripture that talks about people being thrown into a fiery furnace as a punishment. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into the fiery furnace for refusing to worship the gods of the Babylonians. King Nebuchadnezzar threw them there, and they turned up the furnace 7 times hotter than normal. And throughout that whole process, they saw 4 men walking around in the fire. One of them was Jesus. So even during our most fiery temptations and trials, we remember that God is with us. So as you think about Firelog pose, just remember all those times in scripture that talk about fire coming in and consuming the things that don't matter, like, for example, separating the wheat from the chaff and burning up all the things that don't produce fruit. And we can think about our God coming in and cleansing us from all unrighteousness. Thank you.